The new third generation Porsche Cayenne will come to India soon, and I was excited to get my hands on a significant new variant of the car. So Côte d'Azur in the south of France is supposed to be all about blue skies and gorgeous views of the ocean, but a little bit different today. Things haven't gone to plan when it comes to the weather, but you know what? I'm still happy because I get a chance to take a stab at the all-new E-Hybrid version of the new Porsche Cayenne. The new Cayenne E-Hybrid is better looking, better on performance, better on its green credentials, and even has a better cabin than the previous hybrid model. So the rear of the car is where you see the real new generation styling in that sense, because of course the tail light treatment is completely distinctive and new. Now remember, this car is also the first runner-up of the World Luxury Car of the Year title, which was of course backed by its stablemate, the Audi A8. Now at the back is where you pick up on the hybrid, because Cayenne of course has a little green, neon green if you will, outline, but it's also the E-Hybrid badging back here that very specifically tells you what this particular version is. The hybrid system uses a 100 kilowatt motor married to a 3-litre V6 turbo petrol engine. The V6 makes 333 bhp and 450 Nm of torque, while the electric side gives you 133 bhp and 400 Nm. But to put it accurately, the combined system output is 453 bhp and, wait for it, 700 Nm of peak torque. Now you start the car and you pull away by default in silent electric mode, but speaking of defaults, then of course the car will switch eventually when you get onto the road to the hybrid mode, because that's its default for driving. That's pretty much like, let's say, a comfort mode in any other car. So then of course the engine management system will judiciously try and figure out where to take the power from, whether it's the electric or the battery side of things, and or is it coming from the combustion engine. And now comes the little difference as well, because a lot of hybrids these days you find that, you know, the electric motor will power one axle and then you've got the ICE engine sending power to the other. Not like that in this case, where it's always combined, and so it's really depending on the kind of input you're providing as a driver that decides what sort of output you're getting from the hybrid system. It has a hang-on all-wheel drive instead of the conventional torsion system. This gives the car more efficient performance according to Porsche engineers. Overall on the new generation, things have gotten so much better anyway, and I think it's the steering that's the great takeaway for me. It's properly stiff and very, very precise. While I never did take the car completely off-road, there were plenty of broken roads on our route, and the sense of control was indeed very reassuring. Top speed in pure electric or e-power mode is 130 km per hour, which is pretty creditable, certainly faster than the last generation hybrid. And otherwise, of course, when you have the car on hybrid mode or in Sport or Sport Plus, it'll go 253 km per hour. Now the hybrid is actually quicker than the regular car. It goes 0 to 100 in 5 seconds. The regular non-hybrid version will do it in 6.2. And of course you get a whole lot more torque, you get a really effective sense of power as well. And what's really nice is that when you're driving the car, it's not gimmicky in any way, it's not typical hybrid-like. The last Cayenne S E-Hybrid gave us a mileage of 29.4 kilometers per litre. The new car has a claimed mileage of 31.25 kmpl, and its pure electric range has also increased. Now I have to say I was a little surprised with its electric power driving range of 44 kilometers. This day and age I would have expected that number to be a little bit bigger, but the flip side of that, or the good side, is that unlike many other plug-in hybrids, where yes of course you have regenerative charging on board, but it only gives you so much, you eventually do need to plug the car in to get the battery to, you know, give you a respectable amount of power again. in this car, the regenerative charging is actually pretty effective. So there was a point some time ago when we had dropped completely down to absolutely zero power coming from the battery, but it managed to get it right back up to about 23-24 kilometers range. That to me is a pretty good thing, because you're not always going to have the opportunity to stop or charge, or maybe not even find a place to charge. And so this is good because you can still sort of shore up on the electric power, so you can use it when you need to, let's say in a city center, for example. It also now offers an optional sport exhaust to get a meteor roar out of the V6. But even without that, the engine sings in a somewhat muted way. The new Cayenne has become sportier and more dynamic than the second generation was, and the E-Hybrid maintains that character 100%, which brings me to a crucial point. Now, I think it's great that Porsche is bringing the hybrid to India right from word go. So when the new generation launches, now remember, to a lot of those buyers, the ones who really want the diesel for the extra torque, well, this system will give you that extra torque. And for others, it could be about pricing. And then, like I said, if it is similarly priced to the diesel, then do you need to have the diesel? Well, in a country like ours, where there's a lot of lack of clarity on policy and where things are going with diesel, at least having an option like that is probably a good thing. So we have this wonderful soundtrack of the rain for you today. That's a little added special touch. Now on the inside, speaking of special touches, everything is kind of gone touch screen like. So even though back here you don't really have a touch screen like you have in the new Audis or even on the Range Rover now, what you do get are these really cool sort of touch buttons. So it's got a little bit of feedback. When you press it, it just kind of pops back at you a little bit. But it's like a screen, it's just all really nice, and all those buttons have gone away. There was a whole lot going on the Cayenne. It's become nice and smooth and clean, and it's all backlit. Looks very cool. The E-Hybrid also gives you a lot as standard, including Porsche's Sport Chrono package. You can add in a head-up display, Bose or Burmester sound systems, panoramic sunroof, air suspension, and really pamper yourself. In India, I know it would mean having to install the charging infrastructure at either your home or office, but I'm sure Porsche would do that for you with the costs bundled into the car's price. So yes, if you can afford one, the E-Hybrid is a great option now and a very welcome addition to Porsche's Indian lineup too.